All right, gotta set this right. Good morning, everyone, and welcome. Good morning, yes, and welcome to Two Rivers Unitarian Universalist Community. I am Jerry Vanderbeek, and I will be serving as your worship associate today. Our guest speaker today is Steve Brooks. Steve, oh, there you are, yeah. He's a UU lay speaker and musician from Austin, Texas. He has appeared before more than 40 congregations all around this country. Musically, he's known for writing a song a week for Jim Hightower's radio show, and for songs that have been recorded by folk and Americana artists like Slate Cleaves, Albert and Cage, Russell Crowe, and more. He is a master of words as well as music. He was featured on I've Got a Secret TV show as six-time world pun champion. Wow.
It's true.
And this is, you're going to give us a little test today? World pun.
Maybe afterwards.
This is Steve's 8th visit to TRUU. Welcome back. We strive to be a welcoming community at TRUU. And if we have any guests who feel comfortable introducing themselves or being introduced, we invite you to do so.
Hi, I'm Julie Paxton.
I'm Tom Paxton.
Welcome.
So you don't have to sit back quietly. Thank you for introducing yourself. For our guests online, please use the chat to introduce yourselves. Anyone? We invite everyone to join us after the service for coffee and lively discussion. A special thanks to our setup hosts, Liza and Andrew Ferrier, and to our coffee hour hosts, Udell Stuckey and Susan Mason. Thank you. And to our Zoom and YouTube host, Andrew Ferrier. Thank you to our music directors, Micah Sheppy and Paul Dankers, for their music ministry. Well, I'd like to give a special thanks on behalf of our community to you, Paul and Micah, for so generously setting up our PayPal and credit card capabilities, for consolidating the Zoom accounts, for designing and implementing a brilliant new website and newsletter, and helping us in so many ways to make our services truly beautiful and available online. Thank you. I now invite you to the announcements in your order of service. And I'd like to highlight the auction coming up in November. On Sunday, October 20th, we have a special, wonderful opportunity to show our support for the LGBT community and celebrate the arts. TRUU will hold a special UU Unicorn Coffee Hour following the closing performance of Queer Voices at TACCA, I hope I say that right, directed by our own Misha Sherpy and produced by Mency Wu of Voices. Well, this is about more than just a show. It is a special moment for us to demonstrate our community, our commitment to community, and to support for LGBTQ voices. Around 250 attendees will experience our warm hospitality firsthand. So we need volunteers to create a rainbow-themed baked goods and help with the coffee hour. If you're interested in contributing, please speak to Micah after the service. By the way, tickets are, pardon me? I can't hear you.
What time?
Oh, what time? What time is it, Micah?
The performance on Sunday, the 20th, is at 2 o'clock. It will probably be done by like 3:30. Perfect time to get a warm cup of coffee and a good conversation.
It's almost time for happy hour then. Yeah. And by the way, tickets for the events are now on sale, and the link can be found in your printed order of service. Next year, on March 20th, Paul Dankers will be directing the TRUU choir to accompany the message being offered by the Reverend Florence Caplow. Please check your order of service for the email, for Paul's email, so that you can let him know if you're available and interested in singing.
That's next month, not next year.
Oh, well, it says March 20th. No, it said,
Date is in there. Sorry, it's October 20th.
oh, October 20th, so I would,
My bad.
okay. So, now everybody knows for sure. It's October 20th.
After the service today.
Okay, thank you. We invite guests and visitors to leave contact information on the back of the order of service so that we can get to know you better and connect you to our community here at Two Rivers Unitarian. And we also invite those with pastoral and caring committee concerns to use the back of the order of service. And now, we will move into worship with a musical prelude by Steve Brooks.
There is a reason, so I'm told, beyond the shadows of my doubts. Some seek the meaning, some look for gold, some say they got it figured out. Now I've never been a fancy dancer, I have no secrets to reveal. I don't pretend to know the answers, only the questions. Keep it real, and if to love with the questions is the best I can ever do, maybe upon someday of reckoning I'll find I can live the answers to. Where is it found, that hidden kingdom over the mountains, under the sea? Is it a song the sirens singing? Is it a place inside of me? And if to love with the questions is the best I can ever do, maybe upon some day of reckoning I'll find I can live the answers to. we explore this crooked highway, knowing our paths will soon divide. Even if your way is not my way, walking a while side by side. And if we live with the questions will see us through, till maybe upon some day of reckoning, out where the sun is never setting, where all our curses turn to blessings, we'll find we have lived the answers to. Thank you. Great to be here.
Our chalice lighting, we quote The Light of Truth by Richard Fuchs. May the light of truth illuminate our minds. May the spark of love set our hearts on fire. And may the flame of freedom burn brightly within us, now and always. Please rise, embody your spirit for our opening hymn, and we will remain standing through our song aspiration.
has tried us, hope inside us will lead the way on this road from greed to giving. Love will guide us through the hard night. If you can sing like the angels, if you cannot speak before thousands, you can give from deep within you. You can change the world with your love. Love will guide us, peace has tried us, hope inside us will lead the way on the road from greed to giving. Love will guide us through the hard night.
Now, please join me in our spoken covenant. Love is the spirit of this community, and service is its law. This is our covenant, to dwell together and peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another.
shape of justice, who taught me close, wings set me free, Spirit of life, come to me, come to me.
Please be seated.
And now we have a song for all ages. The song was written by a friend of mine named Joe Crookston. He took an ancient Buddhist fable and he turned it into a children's song and a cowboy song. It's called Good Luck John. John had a horse and the horse ran away. Bad luck, bad luck. John had a horse and the horse ran away. Bad, bad luck. Bad luck, bad luck. The neighbors did say, bad luck, John, has come your way. Bad, bad luck has come your way. He said maybe. It's hard to say. Well, his horse came back with a wild mare. Good luck, good luck. Horse came back with a pretty white mare. Good, good luck. Good luck, good luck, the neighbors did say. Good luck, John, has come your way. Good, good luck has come your way. He said maybe. It's hard to say. Maybe. It's hard to say. Well, the mare kicked John and broke his leg. Bad luck, bad luck. That pretty white mare, she broke John's leg. Bad, bad luck. Bad luck, bad luck. The neighbors did say, bad luck, John, has come your way. Bad, bad luck has come your way. He said maybe. It's hard to say. He said maybe. It's hard to say. With his broken leg, he missed the draft. Good luck, good luck. The army came and walked on past. Good, good luck. Good luck, the neighbors did say. Good luck, John, has come your way. Good, good luck has come your way. He said maybe. It's hard to say. His broken leg refused to heal. Bad luck, and pain was all that he could feel. Bad, bad luck. Bad luck, the neighbors did say. Bad luck, John, has come your way. Bad, bad luck has come your way. He said maybe. It's hard to say. He said maybe. It's hard to say. Then the nurse, she came to take care of. Good luck, good luck. And the two of them, they fell in love. Good, good luck. Good luck, good luck. Neighbors did say, good luck, John, has come your way. Good, good luck has come your way. He said maybe. It's hard to say. Maybe. It's hard to say. Maybe. It's hard to say.
Is the time in our service where we honor and acknowledge those we hold in our hearts this morning, who are not here in this space, those we love who are facing challenges, those we love who are celebrating milestones, and those we love that have passed away. By saying their names in this space, the TRUU community can hold your sorrow and joy as well. Please speak up so everyone can hear.
Here's another story about why shouldn't be too fast to make moral judgments, because we might turn out to be wrong. I can still recall that whitewashed country chapel, and the girl in white is standing by my side. When the preacher, he did stop, said, "Before we tie this knot, got something I must tell the groom and bride. True loving isn't always free and easy. Sometimes you work it hard to keep it real. So here's 3 little words, though they might sound absurd. All you have to do is lie and cheat and steal. You got to lie beside her for the rest of your days. You got to cheat the time that keeps slipping away. You got to steal her heart just like an automobile. The secret of love is to lie, cheat, and steal. The secret of love is to lie, cheat, and steal. Every time I hear that jukebox playing about all them cheating hearts and lying eyes, I see my baby wink, our glasses start to clink, and we drink to all our blessings in disguise. And every time I'm jumping to a judgment about what she thinks or how she really feels, I stop and listen twice for the virtue in the vice, reminded me to lie and cheat and steal. You got to lie beside her for the rest of your days. You got to cheat the time that keeps slipping away. You got to steal her heart just like an automobile. The secret of love is to lie, cheat, and steal. You got to lie beside her for the rest of your days. You got to cheat the time that keeps slipping away. You got to steal her heart just like an automobile. Those 3 little words may not be your ideal, but the secret of love is to lie, cheat, and steal. Thank you. Words to live by.
Our reading today is the Ten Commandments, Exodus 20, and the Good Samaritan, Luke 10. The Ten Commandments. You shall have no other gods before me. You shall not make any graven image or bow down to it or worship it. You shall not take the name of the Lord in vain. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. You shall not kill. You shall not commit adultery. You shall not steal. You shall not bear false witness against your neighbor. You shall not covet your neighbor's house. You shall not covet your neighbor's wife, nor his manservant, nor his maidservant, nor his ox, nor his ass, nor anything that is your neighbor's. The Good Samaritan. He asked Jesus, "And who is my neighbor?" In reply, Jesus said, "A man was going down from Jerusalem to Jericho when he was attacked by robbers. They stripped him of his clothes, they beat him, and went away, leaving him half dead. A priest happened to be coming by down the same road, and when he saw the man, he passed by it on the other side. So too a Levite, when he came to the place and saw him, he passed by on the other side. But a Samaritan, as he traveled, came where the man was, and when he saw him, he took pity on him. He went to him and bandaged his wounds, pouring on oil and wine. Then he put the man on his own donkey, brought him to an inn, and took care of him. The next day, he took out 2 denarii and gave them to the innkeeper. 'Look after him,' he said, 'and when I return, I will reimburse you for any extra expense that you may have.' Which one of these 3 do you think was a neighbor to the man who fell into the hands of robbers?" Luke 10.
Thank you, Jerry. The 10 Commandments are in the news again, thanks to, of all places, the Louisiana legislature. In June, the state required that all public schools display them on posters at least 11 by 14. Louisiana's governor opined that the displays could reduce violent crime. If the commandments had been in schools years ago, he speculated, they might have prevented the recent attempt to assassinate a former president. That's a stretch. But, of course, it's not just about the commandments. In the symbolism of the culture wars, the 10 Commandments stand for something bigger than the words themselves. They stand for morality in general. More specifically, they stand for the idea of moral absolutes, the idea that there are clear lines between right and wrong. When the Alabama judge Roy Moore erected them in his court, he called them the restoration of the moral foundation of law and the return to the knowledge of God in our land. Well, this morning, I'm going to argue that the culture warriors have gotten it backwards. They don't understand the 10 Commandments any better than they understand the U.S. Constitution. On closer examination, we shall see that the Ten Commandments are hardly moral absolutes. In fact, they embody the culture warrior's worst nightmare, moral relativism. And by better understanding the commandments, we might better understand the dark side of traditional morality. We might unravel how it is that a person can believe, "Thou shalt not kill," while they support both war and capital punishment. For ourselves, as religious liberals, we might also find a key to taking morality back from the self-appointed moral majorities at a time when many of our hard-won freedoms are under attack, from reproductive choice to LGBTQ rights. We can defend moral relativism, not as a road to lawlessness, but as a path to human progress. Moral relativism is a phrase that makes religious conservatives froth at the mouth. Judge Moore defined it as anything goes, including lying, cheating, and stealing. He has not heard the song. Other writers call it a bottomless pit that leads us to perversion and leads to anarchy, chaos, and ultimately nihilism. The core of their argument is this: without a stern supernatural father to set boundaries, all hell is liable to break loose. As Dostoevsky famously asked, how is man going to be good without God? The Ten Commandments, however, raise the opposite question. How can people be good with God? You might think I jest, but bear with me as I indulge in a bit of forensic theology. You might call it CSI Exodus. Let's start with the commandments themselves. When I reread them, I am surprised by how reasonable they sound. Drop out the G words, and nothing conflicts with our Unitarian Universalist principles. Stripped of burning bushes and parted waters, they are a common sense set of basic rules for civilization. Don't kill. That's a good start. Don't lie and don't steal. Respect the people who raised you. These commandments are addressed to a people who are fresh out of slavery, learning for the first time the art of self-government. At heart, they are simple rules for functional relationships. I find it refreshing that the list is so short. Apart from adultery, it includes no taboos about sex. The Bible doesn't start to micromanage human behavior until the following book, Leviticus. Maybe the problem is not with the Ten Commandments. Maybe it's with the people who preach them. Look at religions based on the Ten Commandments. From the Crusades to the Spanish Inquisition, from burning witches to owning slaves, true believers have committed many of the most atrocious crimes in human history. How does morality go so wrong? One answer lies in the stories that follow the Ten Commandments. Because within a few chapters, the Hebrew children are pillaging and plundering their way through the land of Canaan. The book of Joshua tells us they utterly destroyed all that was in the city, both man and woman, young and old, ox and sheep and ass with the edge of the sword. And they burnt the city with fire and all that was therein. What on earth is going on? Are the Israelites simply ignoring the commandments they just heard? Or do they hear them in a different way from you and me? Moses himself gives us a clue. Right after he repeats the Ten Commandments, he instructs his flock about the 7 nations that already occupy the promised land. He says, "Thou shalt smite them and utterly destroy them." There's no way to pretty up this story. Moses is bidding his ragtag army to commit genocide. But he has a ready justification. being the chosen people. The Lord thy God hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself, above all people that are upon the face of the earth. To Moses, then, the Ten Commandments are relative. They are intended for the chosen people and for no one else. The chosen people shall not kill each other. The chosen people shall not steal from one another. But when it comes to other races and other gods, anything goes, unless they surrender ahead of time, in which case you can take them as slaves. Here we get to the heart of Old Testament morality and the riddle of how people who ride on moral high horses do so many immoral things. For the people of Exodus, morality is not a universal set of rules. It's actually two sets of rules, one for us and another for them. This relative moral reasoning doesn't stop with the Ten Commandments. We can see it in every so-called holy war, whether it's Catholics against Protestants, Shiites against Sunnis, or cowboys against Indians. It rationalized slavery, and it justified the Trail of Tears. It's the golden rule in reverse. Do unto others before they do it to you. But there is a second sense in which the Ten Commandments are relative. And this second sense, I suggest, opens a door to higher forms of morality. The commandments are addressed to people who biologically are relatives. They trace their ancestry to 12 legendary brothers who sired 12 tribes. The nation of Israel is one big extended family, and kindness is simply the way that they are supposed to treat their own kind. But who are our own kind? Perhaps what separates one moral system from another is not what we eat, who we sleep with, or even how we treat our neighbors. Perhaps the central moral question is, who is my neighbor? In the book of Luke, that very question is put to Jesus. He responds not by answering directly, but by telling a story. And in that story, he offers a moral system that is very different from the one in Exodus. A traveler from Jerusalem gets beaten by robbers and left for dead. His own countrymen repeatedly pass him by. Finally, he is aided by a foreigner from the land of Samaria. For Jesus' listeners, that is a startling detail, because historically, Samaritans and Jews have hated each other. When he makes his hero a Samaritan, it's like telling modern Americans that he's a terrorist. At the end of the story, he turns the question back on the person who asked it. Which of these three do you think was a neighbor? If that's not clear enough, Jesus talks further about the commandments when he delivers the Sermon on the Mount. His message is to obey them, but to go beyond them. He directs us to love outside the box. It has been said, you shall love your neighbor and hate your enemy. But I say to you, love your enemies. Bless them that curse you. Do good to them that hate you. In the Sermon on the Mount, there's no longer any us or them. Regardless of where they live or what they do, every human being is a neighbor. Or, as we describe it in the UU tradition, the inherent worth and dignity of every person. But why should morality stop with human beings? In the Lakota nation of the Great Plains, a central moral principle is to treat your relations with respect. What's different is the meaning of the word relations. all my relations is a common expression in Lakota prayer. But it takes in more than just human beings. It includes plants and animals, the rocks, the four winds, and the four directions. Hear me, 4/4 of the world, calls out the medicine man Black Elk. A relative I am. Give me the strength to walk the earth softly, a relative to all that is. Black Elk approaches creatures, plants, and pebbles with the same reverence as his two-legged kin. Before he takes a willow sapling or a buffalo, he asks its permission. In return, he leaves an offering, such as the sacred herb tobacco. We can view such rituals as animist superstition, or we can view them as putting into practice the interdependent web of existence. And again, we can view them as moral seeds of what we now call environmental ethics. Animal welfare challenges us to consider higher animals as neighbors. Deep ecology dares us to treat the entire biosphere as family. The conservationist Aldo Leopold translated the morals of Black Elk into the language of science. He wrote, "The land ethic simply enlarges the boundaries of the community to include soils, waters, plants, and animals, or collectively, the land. A thing is right when it tends to preserve the integrity, stability, and beauty of the biotic community. It is wrong when it tends otherwise." In this pocket history, we have covered 3 moral systems from 3 millennia. What can they tell us about morality today? And how can they help us as religious liberals to talk about it? The first thing they tell me is that I don't have to believe in absolutes to believe in morality. Morality is inherently relative because morality changes over time. The Latin root for morals means customs, habits, or traditions. In other words, moral rules are traditions that grow and evolve as civilizations do. Along the way, we keep some rules and we discard others. Most of the 10 Commandments are still useful principles to live by. On the other hand, most of us ignore Leviticus. We no longer put people to death for cussing or for cheating on their spouses. Our community standards have changed. 200 years ago, many white Americans considered slavery to be a moral good, and they quoted the Bible to prove it. 100 years ago, most white Southerners felt the same about segregation. And leaving those standards behind, moral relativism has not caused the decline of civilization. It has marked the advance of civilization. In each case, we have extended our definition of neighbor. In 1776, it was confined to white property-owning males. In our lifetimes, Americans have opened the circle to minorities and women, gay men and lesbians, and more. When those moral codes changed, it was not because a deity was speaking from above. If a deity was speaking at all, it was through the human heart, which ultimately is the source of morality and the place where all moral progress is made. Moral relativism is not a caricature of the 1960s. It doesn't mean if it feels good, do it. No, it's an intensely personal path of discerning right from wrong, both in dialogue with others and within our most private tabernacles. It calls each of us to test the codes of our culture against the calls of our conscience. In the winter of 2011, a Yale student named Will Portman was struggling over whether to tell his parents that he was gay. When he made the decision to come out, he was both grateful and surprised that they supported him. The entire nation was surprised when his father became an advocate for same-sex marriage. Rob Portman was then a Republican senator from Ohio. Here's how the senator described his moral conversion. I wrestled with how to reconcile my Christian faith with my desire for Will to have the same opportunities to pursue happiness and fulfillment as his brother and sister. Ultimately, it came down to the Bible's overarching themes of love and compassion, and my belief that we are all children of God. It is in such moments of conflict, confusion, and conversion that genuine morality is forged for individuals and for whole societies. There is value in learning rules like the Ten Commandments, but ultimately, like all spiritual rules, they are a means to an end. They are not the end itself. The genuine end is my personal moral relationship with my higher power. As I strain in times of crisis to hear what a still, small voice is trying to tell me. That relationship is my ultimate judge of what's right and what's wrong. The tree of the knowledge of good and evil doesn't grow and flower in some far-off garden. It's certainly not a poster on a schoolroom wall in Louisiana. It is rooted and it is cultivated in the deepest soils of our own souls. In that spirit, I want to close by saying, thank God. Thank God for moral relativism.
We will now receive an offering for the support of this religious community and its work in the world. You are invited to give generously and joyfully as you are willing and able.
Receive, to you I give, together we share, and from this we live. From you I receive, to you I give, together we share, and from this we live.
Please rise and body your spirit for our closing hymn, Building a New Way.
Building a new way. We are building a new way, feeling stronger every day. We are building way. We are working to be free. We are working to be free. We are working to be free. Hate and greed and jealousy. We are working to be free. We can feed our every need. We can feed our every need. We can feed our every need. Start with love, that is the seed. We can feed every need. Peace and freedom is our cry. Peace and freedom is our cry. Peace and freedom is our cry. Without these, this world will die. Peace and freedom is our cry.
Please be seated.
As we go forth today, let us reflect that we live in a time of great moral progress and of great moral backlash. Let us not leave the idea of morality to narrow minds. Let us rather embody the expansive spirit of the great Rabbi Hillel the Elder. When he was asked to explain the Torah in the length of time that he could stand on one foot, he said, "Love thy neighbor as thyself. That which is hateful to you, do not to your neighbor. That is the whole of the Torah. The rest is commentary."
The words of our cellist extinguishing are by Elizabeth Sally Jones. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts till we are together again.
And please rise and join in singing One World Home. And thank you, Steve, for being here with us today and for your inspiring words. All the joys and the creeds, the colors and beliefs, the sunlight shines upon us all the same. Open minds, loving hearts, helping hands, it's a start.